Residents of Yobe communities keep their children away from schools as authorities give assurances of the meningitis outbreak being under control. Another reported attack on a truckload of food items as NEMA refused looting of warehouse in Abuja. Northeast residents are CBN to mop up mutilated naira notes in circulation. Catastrophic health situation in Gaza as Israel arrests 55 in West Bank. Thank you most kindly for joining us on the News Hour tonight. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. We begin in Yobe, where residents of Gadaka town in Yobe state have expressed concerns following the recent meningitis outbreak in government secondary school, Gadaka area of Fika local government area of the state. Now, despite measures being put in place by health authorities, some parents are refusing to allow their children go back to school over fears they may contract the disease. Trust TV's Hassan Kohli visited some communities in Fika and filed in this report.
After confirming 85 cases of meningitis in Fika local government area of Yobe state, residents, especially in Gadaka, where 2/3 of cases have been reported, are living in fear of the deadly disease. Although health authorities said they discharged the last case in the local government, residents are worried that the disease is still spreading and killing children in remote villages. They are implementing different strategies to avoid contracting the disease. We are in panic. As a preventive measure, we stopped sending our children to school out of fear that they might get infected. We also try to sleep in well-ventilated rooms, as suggested by medical experts. Right now, we want the government to send us medical supplies. This disease is terrible. It kills people almost instantly. Most of the villages here are not even close to a hospital. That is why we are losing people before we take them to Fika General Hospital for medical attention. We have a hospital here in Maidua, but it does not provide us with standard medical care. We lost people to this disease here even before it hit the secondary school. So we are urging the government to provide vaccines and medicines for this deadly disease. According to health authorities, the situation has been brought under their control and all 85 confirmed cases have been responded to treatment. They called on residents to report any meningitis symptoms immediately.
Actually, so far we've recorded 85 cases of meningitis. In fact, more than 2/3 of the cases we accept are from Gadaka government girls secondary schools. So part of the measure we instituted is to pass information to educate the teachers on how to pass the information to those students on avoiding overcrowding, sleeping in a very ventilated area to prevent a spread, and to report any ailment, any headache, fever, neck stiffness, or vomiting. They should report it appropriately. They shouldn't keep it in their clinic. Once a child complains that having headache, fever, neck stiffness, or any symptoms like this.
Located in a semi-arid climatic zone, Fika local government area was flagged by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control as an area that requires high vigilance for meningitis. Hassan Kohli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
In other news, in a viral video posted online less than 24 hours after a warehouse was looted and vandalized by residents in Gwagwa area of Abuja, a truckload of food items was attacked and looted by residents in the same location early on Monday morning. It is unclear whether the food items belong to a private or government agency.
Yes. Yeah, so what is happening this morning?
Oga, we are dying of hunger.
Yes.
So we got to sneak in and find what to eat.
That's right.
Voting tinubu, we don't know that you are regretting. That's why. Cannot stay of this.
Is this a government palliative?
This is government palliative.
All right.
This is government palliative. Everything is being. This is gone. This one days I don't know the see, I know the roti finish. See,
they just keep and seize.
Keep and seize roti, and we are dying.
Hungry, they kill people.
Yes.
That's right.
Meanwhile, the National Emergency Management Agency has refuted media reports alleging the looting of its warehouse in Abuja, clarifying that the warehouse in question does not belong to the agency. In a statement shared by the NEMA press unit on Sunday, the agency expressed sympathy with the owners of the looted facility. However, the Agricultural and Rural Development Secretariat of the Federal Capital Territory Administration has confirmed the looting of its warehouse in Dede on Sunday by FCT residents, attributing it to economic hardship in the country. According to Zakari Aliu, the spokesperson for the Secretariat, residents had looted everything in the store and vandalized the premises, including removing roofing sheets and windows.
The warehouse in Igwagwa Karim, Tasha. People are hungry.
Can I call you back? I did. Man, boy is the best. Oh, boy is the scatter area. Oh, boy is the best. Oh, boy. This is, I think this is Tasha One warehouse.
Now, over the weekend, telecommunication operators barred no fewer than 40 million telephone lines following the expiration of the February 28, 2024 deadline set by the Nigeria Communications Commission. Now, this marks a significant increase from the initial planned deactivation of 12 million lines as mandated by the NCC directive. In a notice issued back in December last year, the NCC had instructed telecommunication providers to deactivate SIM cards that had not been linked with the owner's national identity numbers by the specified deadline. Despite calls for an extension, the NCC Director of Public Affairs, Ruben Morka, ruled out any possibility of an extension on the deadline, warning of sanctions against telecommunication service providers that fail to comply. Chairman of the Association of Licensed Telecommunication Operators of Nigeria, Benga Adebayo, confirmed that telecommunication operators indeed deactivated over 12 million SIM cards in accordance with the NCC directive. Now, Nigerians with data discrepancies on their national identification numbers are lamenting the bottlenecks to access modification services at enrollment centers of the National Identification Management Commission. Some Abuja residents who spoke to Trust TV News on Monday have accused NIMC licensed private agents and officials of extortion as systematic challenges persist. Here's Ibrahim Ismail with details of the story.
Desperate to access modification services, a multitude of Nigerians flocked to the NIMC Modification Center in Wuse, Zone 3, Abuja. However, obtaining these services have become increasingly challenging, potentially due to the overwhelming number of applicants. Some individuals voiced concern about extortion exacerbating the process despite the existence of stipulated fees for modifications through the appropriate channels.
They
asked me to pay 60,000 naira for date of birth modification inside the NIMC office, something that should be free for the citizens. How can a jobless man raise such amount and pay for this service? This is injustice.
Always, if you come, we didn't know maybe they are conniving, most of their staff there maybe are conniving with those ones outside doing it. And if you went to outside, they will be there doing it. And the outside now, they will be charging you much. Even the NIA too are collecting money from us, we fellow Nigerians.
Amidst the blocking of millions of phone numbers by telecommunications service providers, a significant number of individuals have also experienced frozen bank accounts. The affected individuals are troubled by the challenges they face and are urging the federal government to consider extending the deadline for compliance.
Yes, it's affected me. Now, and the way it is, everything has remained stagnant. I can't withdraw, I can't do anything. And look at the queue here. It's not something I can do it today or tomorrow. And I have to be coming here early in the morning for every day. What about my job? So the federal government should come into the system and make use of the technology so that it will be easy for Nigerians.
The government will extend it. And then I have the complaint that some people are coming from Kogi, that they should come to headquarters. It's not done like that. Why will you come from Kogi to come and do this verification? It's not done like that. They should at least pity people. I had a guy who is complaining he has spent a week here.
On its official website, the National Identification Management (NIMC) said it has zero-tolerance policy towards all forms of vice, like extortion and unruly conduct. Nigerians who fell to victims of extortion by the Commission's officials and private agents have called on the Commission to walk the talk by investigating and bringing the perpetrators to book. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And in other news, the sanitization of Nigeria's financial sector has been taking shape with the Apex Bank's directive to restrict all Tier 1 bank accounts without BVN, as over 91 million bank accounts face deactivation. In this report, Noel Sampson speaks to a financial sector expert on the impact of the CBN directive while gauging the views of the public.
At least 91 million accounts risk deactivation due to non-compliance with regulatory requirements. The central bank has over the years decried irregularities in the financial sector, which are undermining financial services in the country. So what are Tier 1 accounts, and how will this move address the gaps in the industry? Ida Kolok-Balade is a former banker turned economist. He says the current drive will have a positive impact on the database of Nigeria's financial sector.
Tier 1 accounts are accounts that were introduced during the financial inclusion drive of the Central Bank of Nigeria to ensure that every Nigerian is banked. And the Tier 1 accounts are used to reach the unbanked because it has minimal verification capacities. So deactivating 91 unprofitable probably now accounts, because the bank, when the accounts are deactivated, the bank will not be able to make transactions on them, talk less of making any profit from it. So it's going to definitely affect the banking sector and the banks that those accounts are domiciled. It's going to cause losses to them, and it's also going to put a clog in the wheel of the financial inclusion plan of the Central Bank of Nigeria. I'm sure that the main reason for this linkage of the BVN, the bank verification number, and the national identity number is to ensure that transactions and owners of accounts can be easily traced and their data can be easily accessed.
Speaking to Trust TV News, some FCT residents shared their experiences while attempting to link their BVN NIN to the bank accounts.
They passed through a lot of stress, but I heard a lot of people say actually share their experiences with them. Actually not do enough that. But for me it was stressful. The process was, let me say, smooth, but you have to join a very long queue. So when I went to Access Bank, I joined a very long queue at Zenith Bank. The GTB too, I have to wait for more than 24 hours for them to send individual numbers to my phone number to allow me.
Nigerians remain optimistic about the goal of the BVN, NIN, and bank account linkages as the Apex Banks doubles down on addressing the gaps in the financial sector. Despite hitches experienced so far, the push to regularize and uphold industry standards remain paramount to the calculations of the CBN. Noel Sampson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Staying in Abuja, the House of Representatives Committee on Financial Crimes has taken a decisive step at deciding to issue an arrest warrant for the Chief Executive Officer of Binance. This action comes after the company failed to appear before the House committee despite being summoned. chairing the proceedings in Abuja, Ginger Obinna, announced the decision during an investigative hearing aimed at probing allegations of terrorism financing, money laundering, and other financial crimes levied against Binance based on petitions from groups. Here's the report.
The committee expressed dissatisfaction with Binance's legal representative's claim during the hearing and insisted on the personal appearance of the chief executive to address the allegations against the company.
And also issuing a warrant for Binance executives to be arrested and brought to this committee to answer these questions relating to the financing of terrorism, money laundering, and other financial crimes, as stated in the petition, including evasion of tax.
However, we have been asked, did these two people, were they intended to attend this? And you waffled around that question. I use the word very loosely, waffled, because all you did was try and cover yourself while not covering yourself.
I believe we are just dragging our feet. Binance is not there. You have written, you have given us the synopsis. Mr. Chairman, let's do the proper thing. Let the House take leadership of this issue. Let Nigerians be in the forefront of what is going on.
Earlier, Binance's legal representatives cited the alleged arrest of two company executives upon their arrival in the country by operatives of the National Security Advisor (NSA) as the reason for the chief executive's non-appearance before the committee's investigative hearing.
Two Binance executives who came into the country were arrested by another Nigerian authority. Specifically the National Security Advisor Office. And since then till date, these two Binance executives are still in custody.
The federal government initiated a clampdown on Binance, alleging that the platform was involved in fixing foreign exchange rates, a practice believed to be negatively impacting the value of the naira.
In other news, non-teaching workers across universities in Nigeria, represented by the Senior Staff Association of Nigeria Universities and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Education and Associated Institutions, have issued a warning on Monday, urging the federal government to address their demands within 7 days period to avoid a nationwide university shutdown. Muhammad Ibrahim, the president of SANU, conveyed their message during a press briefing in Abuja, outlining the drastic measures the workers plan to take if their demands are not met. Among the proposed actions, the workers intend to disconnect utilities such as light and water, lock up examination offices, and withdraw security officers from campuses. Libraries, ICT centers, bursary departments, account sections, health centers, and other crucial areas will also be affected, according to the union. Now, Ibrahim also emphasized the urgency of the situation, indicating that the unions will convene next week to take a final decision. Ibrahim further criticized state governments for establishing universities without adequate funding mechanisms, citing the example of 3 state universities in Ondo State that have suffered neglect. He also cautioned against the creation of universities solely for political gain, stressing the detrimental impact on staff members and their families.
Members of NASU and SANU were kept at bay. So we reached out to the Minister of Education, and he did assure us that the approval of Mr. President was for all workers in the public universities, especially the ones in the federal universities, as this case is concerned. So 2 weeks down the line, we are yet to receive payments for the withheld salary. So this is.
You're watching the news hour on Trust TV. Still to come. Surge of mutilated naira notes in circulation, frustrating business operations in northeast Nigeria. More on this and many other stories coming up ahead after the break. Welcome back to the News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take another look at the top stories. Residents of Yobe communities keep their children away from schools as authorities give assurances over control of a recent meningitis outbreak in the area. Another reported attack on a truckload of food items as NEMA refused looting of warehouse in Abuja. Moving on now, residents of Ido Serki along Airport Road in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, have on Monday protested against an alleged takeover of their lands by the Nigerian Navy on Monday. 2 weeks ago, there was tension among locals following the mounting of demolition signposts by the Nigerian Navy in the area, asking them to vacate their homes. Leader of the protesters, Paul Samuel, spoke to newsmen over the alleged takeover by the Nigerian Navy.
Answer your question in 2 ways. The only thing we are aware of is that of Abuja International Airport, International Airport, which it was announced that there was going to be an increment so that they will have their land, airplane ways and all of that. So there was an increment on that land, and it ends somewhere there. But as it comes to this other part of the land where we are, we've not had there's any blueprint from anywhere, and if there is, so it is subject to going to find out the authenticity of that blueprint. But as of today, we are not aware of any blueprint. We are not aware of any master plan. In fact, this land as it is for now is a buffer zone. Because if there's anybody who is to come as a developer or as for whatever interest, they go through the federal government. Then we now go to confirm or to hear from the minister if it is true. For whatever interest, they go through the federal.
Now, being in possession of damaged naira notes can be quite frustrating, but it is even more distressing if traders or customers refuse to accept them and there's nothing to do about it. But possession of mutilated naira notes has been the unpleasant reality for both buyers and trade and sellers across northeast Nigeria who have to contend with the impact on their livelihood in northeast Nigeria. Here's a special report put together by Daily Trust Bureau Chief for Northeast, Hamisu Kabir Motazu.
In the 6 states of Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, Gombe, Bauchi, and Taraba, these damaged naira notes that include 10 naira, 20 naira, 50 naira, 100 naira, and even 200 naira are a common sight. They are mutilated, dirty, and at times torn by half, a situation that always triggers arguments between traders, tricycle operators, cabbies, and their customers. And in most cases, such arguments ended with embarrassment or even leading to a loss of a sale or a business relation. However, most people that such a scenario affect are petty traders selling provisions, kola nuts, vegetables, fruits, and sachet water, who struggle hard to make ends meet. According to these petty traders, they tend to lose chunk of their hard-earned capital and profit to the severed naira notes.
A customer would give you damaged naira notes, and if you give to another customer, he will tell you that he won't collect, but we must collect the served notes, else my vegetables will get rotten. There's nothing we can do. We receive these damaged notes every day. In certain instances, parts of the money are missing, but you don't have an option than to collect. It's always a loss on our part. When we receive such damaged naira notes, we take them to some filling stations, but they are now rejecting them. We don't know where else to take them now.
In Jalingo, the Taraba state capital, similar scenario play out.
I had a bad experience with the mutilated naira notes. I received it from customers, but everybody rejected it when I tried to spend it.
and it's a loss on our part at the end of the day. We are appealing to the government to replace the SARF notes because we hardly convince people to collect them. Some people would collect, but the majority would reject. We do have change crisis with our customers that usually takes time to resolve. They would board on our tricycle and demand for that change, and each time we give them mutilated notes, they reject them. We are appealing to the government to print lower denominations.
Residents and traders are unhappy that the severed Naira notes are eating up their capital and the profit they made in their daily transactions. In Damaturu, Yobe state capital, the situation is not different. A water vendor, Shaibu Abubakar, has this to say.
We started witnessing an increase in mutilated Naira notes after a design of the currency. Some people will sneak in these SARF notes during night transactions. I will not know where to spend them.
These Nigerians are asking the government to print more lower denominations like 10 Naira, 20 Naira, 50 Naira, and 100 Naira in order to save traders from avoidable loss. But the traders also must bear the responsibility of handling the Naira notes properly. The sole administrator of Borno State Chamber of Commerce, Industries, Mine, Agriculture, Alhaji Ahmed Ashemi, said business people at the micro level are the most affected.
Our traders and especially business people at the micro level, the smaller ones, they are almost 90% of the currencies in the lower denominations from 100 Naira downwards are all terribly mutilated. And even if they accept it from their customers, how to now go and spend it becomes a problem for them. A lot of them even lose a lot of money through these mutilated currencies when they accept, but in selling. And if they want to buy, the sellers don't accept it from them. Now, I'm surprised that it's almost, how many months now? But nearly 4 months that a new governor for the central bank has been appointed. And he's a negotiator. And you know that negotiators, even previous long time back, they don't accept mutilated currencies. And now for him to be central bank governor, and still these currencies in their current stage of mutilation and circulation is very surprising. So I hope that the central bank governor and his team will come to the aid of our small, micro and medium entrepreneurs who are selling in small bits, akara, selling grinding machines, these vulcanizers and so on. These are very important segment of our economy. And if they are making losses, then it is something to worry about.
Because they traded 90% in lower denominations. Much as there is blame on all sides, what is clear is that solving the problem of mutilated Naira notes will require a multifaceted solution. But it all starts with the Central Bank of Nigeria, the CBN. Hamis Kabir Matazu, Trust TV.
In other news, the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, NECA, has raised significant concerns regarding the implications of the Ministry of Interior's expatriate employment levy on the country's investment climate. NECA, representing the interests of employers across various sectors, has emphasized the necessity for thorough regulatory considerations before implementing such a tax policy. This caution arises from the potential adverse effects that the levy could have on the ongoing fiscal and monetary reforms undertaken by the federal government. NECA's Director General Adewale Smart Oyerinde underscored the pivotal role of foreign direct investment in driving economic growth and development in Nigeria. He pointed out that the imposition of a levy ranging from $10,000 to $15,000 on employers who engage expatriates could pose significant challenges to attracting and retaining foreign investors. This levy, if enforced without proper regulatory frameworks and safeguards, according to NECA, may not only discourage FDI inflows, but also lead to unintended negative consequences for the business environment in the country. NECA has expressed concerns about the potential impact of the expatriate employment levy on skills transfer initiatives in Nigeria. While the government aims to promote knowledge exchange and capacity development, as well as building through expatriate employment, the imposition of a substantial levy could deter employers from engaging in such programs. While the federal government has initiated a new expatriate employment levy policy imposing a hefty fine of 3 million naira for companies found in violation, and of course offences under the policy include failure to submit EEL, which is the expatriate employment levy, failure to register an employee, corporate entities not renewing their expatriate employee levy within 30 days, and providing false information on their expatriate employment levy. The expatriate employment levy is a financial contribution mandated for employers hiring foreign workers, primarily targeting offshore earnings of expatriates in Nigeria. The objective is to promote balanced economic growth and workforce development by ensuring fair contributions from expatriate employment. President Bola Tinubu officially launched the policy on February 28, 2024, emphasizing its role in bridging wage gaps between expatriates and the Nigerian labor force, while enhancing employment opportunities for qualified Nigerians in foreign operated countries or companies in the country. Mounting apprehension regarding the proposal to merge the Air Force Institute of Technology with the Nigeria Defense Academy as outlined in the Oronshai panel report. President Bola Tinubu had approved the implementation of this report on February 27 this year, aiming to streamline government agencies and institutions in a cost-cutting and operational efficiency. Now, the report suggests merging the Nigeria Army University and AFIT into the Nigeria Defense Academy. At the 7th matriculation ceremony of the institute, Professor Kabir Bala, the Vice Chancellor of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, commented on the decision, labeling it as a policy matter. Air Vice Marshal Sani Rabe, the commandant of the institute, expressed concerns, suggesting that those behind the recommendation might not fully understand the institution's operations. He emphasized that the institution was established primarily to train Nigerian Air Force personnel in logistics, armament, aircraft maintenance, and communication. However, it later opened its doors to civilians to benefit from its facilities. Now, as temperatures continue to rise across most parts of Nigeria, health experts are cautioning citizens to take precautionary measures to prevent falling ill. Trust TV's Jimmy Azande spoke to a health expert and residents across Makurdi, the Benue State capital, who echoed concerns about the unusual intense heat wave this year. His report.
As early March sets in, locals report feeling the heat wave's impact, bringing discomfort to their families. The situation is exacerbated by the near absence of electricity supply from the Jos Electricity Distribution Company.
We normally sleep outside, we stay outside till maybe early hours of the following day that we bash into our rooms because of the heat. And you can see what is happening around us in Makurdi here. Mosquitoes are everywhere. And because of this unusual heat we witness in the state, I can tell you 1 or 2 of my children have been in the hospital.
This thing is killing. It can hasten one to his death. It can make one to die earlier than he would have died if this accident had not taken place. What I experienced is what I know. If you are suffering from a kind of to have some health challenges, it will push you to your death immediately. This is very unfair.
Though residents recognize the impact of climate change on their surroundings, they lament the decline in the tradition of planting trees around residential areas. This loss has worsened the heat wave in Makurdi and its surroundings.
The issue of River Benue, as we're in the terrain that we are here, the issue of River Benue is causing us this serious heat. because of the coastal area. Because when a river passes by, like the river Benue, it generates a lot of heat. Then those trees that we plant, the mango trees and other trees that we plant around, they help us. But as the occupation of the people, the inhabitants, the people who increase number, the overcrowdedness also contributes for the heat here in the metropolis.
Sunday Abul, a health expert, highlights some tips that can help minimize the effect of rising temperatures.
Usually come along with some health challenges, such as meningitis and some other ones like chickenpox and measles. And the only way to do away with or to prevent such disease attack is by rehydrating yourself all the time and preventing yourself from being directly under the sun rays for a long period of time.
To cope with the intense heat wave, many residents gather under trees to seek shade during the day. At night, some opt to sleep outdoors for better ventilation and relief from the oppressive heat. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
Now, cooking oil derived from palm or groundnut serve as an indispensable ingredient in Nigerian cuisine. Despite its significance, cooking oil vendors are currently facing a downturn in patronage due to the prevailing economic inflation in the country, and this downturn has significantly impacted their sales, prompting concerns within the industry. Victoria Tokolo, in a survey, went through both the mainland and island regions of Lagos State for this situation report. A report is presented from our studio.
Nigeria's inflation rate continues to impact food prices, with many commodities escaping the reach of Nigerians. In Lagos State, the pricing landscape of cooking oil varies significantly across markets, devoid of a standardized pricing system. Sellers set price based on their procurement cost and location, resulting in disparities among market rates. Within the mainland area of Lagos State, a litre of palm oil commands a price of 1,100 naira, while vegetable oil is priced at 1,500 naira per litre. Speaking with sellers in mainland market, insights were gleaned into the factors influencing their pricing strategies, particularly concerning the procurement cost of 25 litres oil kegs.
We are buying this groundnut oil, 10,000 naira. But as everything changes now, we are buying this keg 40,000 naira per 25 litres. Whereas this red oil, we are buying before 8,000 naira per 25 litres. But now we are buying 30,000 naira.
Presently now we're selling 28,000 as for palm oil, and then vegetable oil we're selling 40,000 currently. But before we used to sell about 20,000, 21,000, but now it's selling for 28,000.
Nigerian families in Lagos State are finding themselves grappling with the soaring prices of essential commodities, causing widespread discontent among residents. Their complaints about the exorbitant prices resonate throughout the state, reflecting the challenges faced by households in sustaining their livelihoods.
A litre for red oil is 1,000 naira, while 2 litre is 2,000 naira. Groundnut oil is 1,500 for 1 litre. Why 2 litres of groundnut oil is 3,500? It's too much.
Nigerian families burdened by the steep prices of essential food items find themselves in a precarious position, especially concerning staple foods they rely on daily.
Staying in Lagos, snail meat is considered a delicacy among many Nigerian cultures, boasting numerous nutritional benefits that set it apart from other types of meat. Now, the current economic downturn in Nigeria has significantly impacted its affordability in the market. The price of a large-sized snail has surged to 5,000 naira, a stark increase from its previous price of 850 to 1,200 naira. Most of the snails sold in Lagos are sourced from the bush in Ore, Ondo State. Here's a report.
Snails are not only a delicacy enjoyed worldwide, but also a powerhouse of nutrition. They're rich in magnesium. They play a crucial role in maintaining normal blood pressure, strengthening bones, and ensuring a regular heartbeat. Also, snails are abundant in iron, calcium, vitamin A, and several other minerals, making them an excellent addition to a healthy diet. In Lagos State, the majority of snails available in the market are sourced from the dense forest of Ore in Ondo State. The fluctuating economy has impacted the pricing of this nutritious meat, with costs varying according to size. A large snail currently retails for 5,000 naira, while a batch of 100 medium-sized snails is priced at 75,000 naira.
The jumbo size is 48,000, 20 pieces. The medium size is 37,000, 20 pieces. This one is small one. That 80 pieces dey inside basket. The 45,000. That 80 pieces.
This one is 100 pieces. Degree 75,000 for 100 pieces. This one is 100 pieces. Degree 60,000. This one is 40 pieces, bigger one. But 20 pieces is 38,000.
Like this one now, if you want to talk about all these sizes, before when we are selling it 700. But now you can see now some way here now it's 4,500 now. It's costing every day by day, gradually.
Speaking with snail consumers, they shared their perspectives regarding the recent increase in snail prices.
We bought a snail of a pack 20. We bought it for 45,000, which is on the rise compared to the other days, which we just buy it at the rate of maybe 10,000 naira for 20 pieces. So it's on the high side now. So I think if the government can help us in adding, making the fuel to price to come down, the transportation, it will help. It will go a long way.
This snail is so expensive. Based on the country now, this is hard. Now, this snail is supposed to be like 500 naira, 600 naira, or 1,000. And then we are talking about one snail is 5,000 naira.
Consuming snail meat offers numerous health benefits regardless of age. Snails provide a wholesome source of nutrition suitable for both men and women, young and old alike. With its ability to regulate blood sugar levels, lower high blood pressure, and absence of fat, snail meat stands out for its exceptional nutrient profile compared to other similar meats.
To some of the day's other news, President Bola Tinubu has arrived Nigeria after a 2-day trip to Qatar at the behest of the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. The president returned to the country on Monday evening. He arrived at the presidential wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport at around 6:37 p.m., where he was welcomed by government dignitaries led by Vice President Kashim Shettima. Apart from Shettima, other top government functionaries were also in attendance to welcome the president back from his Qatar visit. During his visit to the Asian nation, President Tinubu signed several agreements with Qatari authorities ranging from education to sports. He also spoke to the country's business community about investment opportunities in Nigeria while assuring them of his government's resolve to make Nigeria the best investment destination on the continent. Time now to join Chiamaka Enendu for today's update in business.
This is the business news segment. My name is Chiamaka Nendu. And let's start off with news coming from the Central Bank of Nigeria, as the CBN said it has concluded a sale of government securities, issuing 1.053 trillion naira in the short-term instrument as part of its liquidity management exercise. In a statement on Monday, the Apex Bank said investors were oversubscribed for the exercise, which was completed on the 1st of March 2024. The CBN offered 500 billion naira the open market operations unction and oversubscribed, selling 1.053 trillion naira, with 79% of the total bids of the equivalent of $530 million coming from foreign investors. The unction was the first since the CBN's Monetary Policy Committee meeting, which was followed by a virtual meeting with foreign portfolio investors. The CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso said that both meetings were used to detail strategy to curb inflation, stabilize the exchange rate, and spur confidence in the banking system and economy. He further highlighted in the meeting that investors and the outlook for sustained increases in the CBN's foreign currency reserves, improved liquidity in the foreign exchange market, and imminent settlement of the remaining backlog of genuine foreign exchange transactions by the Central Bank of Nigeria. And still a news coming from the CBN, as the CBN has further slashed the exchange rate for computing custom duties at the nation's seaport by 5.3% following the stability in the exchange rate of naira to the dollar. The custom FX duty rate was reviewed downward from 1,630 naira to 1,544 naira on Monday, the 4th of March 2024. And this is according to information obtained from the official trade portal of the Nigeria Customs Service. And this represents a 5.3% reduction when compared to the old rate of 1,630 naira, which was used on Friday. The Apex Bank last week had issued a new directive to customs to use the rate on the date of submitting Form M for calculating import duties. With the importers opening Form M today, Monday, 4th of March 2024 for import trade, will have a little relief in terms of money that would be used to pay import duties compared to what was obtained on Friday. And in other news, Nigeria's oil output rose by 91,476 barrels per day to hit 1.4 million barrels daily in January of 2024, when compared to the production figure of 1.3 barrels per day in December of 2023. And this is according to latest data from the Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, an agency of government. And the rise in crude oil prices occurred when the government revealed through the NUPRC that Nigeria's oil production target was now 2.5 million barrels per day. And this is contained in a document on Nigeria's oil sector obtained from the NUPRC in Abuja, where the chief executive of the commission also pointed out that Nigeria holds significant oil and gas reserves in Africa. He said the commission had been working assiduously to ensure that the Petroleum Industry Act is effectively implemented for growth in oil and gas reserves, as well as achieving the national average daily production target set at 2.5 million barrels of oil and condensate per day in the near term. And right about now, let us review just how the markets fared during today's trading session, where we did see the bulls take over the market today, with the all-share index up by 0.1% at 98,751.98. The market capitalization rose to 55.9 trillion naira, with the volume of trade also rising to 429,639 million. The value of trade also rose to 19.924 billion naira, while 10,749 deals exchanged hands on the floor of the exchange. And now to the top gainers, which we see in the Transcorp top the chart up by 9.94%, with PZ following closely at 9.93%, and Nemeth also up by 9.88%. And on the flip side, Dangote Sugar was down by 10.00%, while Vitafoam also was down by 10.00%, while Unity Bank also was down by 10.00%. And now to the top trades and market movers, where Transcorp Nigeria again topped the chart with 203 million shares. And Transcorp Power, which was listed today on the NGX, also emerged as one of the top trades at 40 million shares, while the United Bank Full Africa also emerged as one of the top trades at 19.6 million shares. And right about now, let us see just how well other markets from across Africa and the global market performed during today's trading session. And in the forex markets, Naira depreciated today, Monday. This is despite the efforts by the CBN, as we had seen, different reforms coming from the CBN last week towards the forex market. But let's see in detail just how well the Naira performed in the currency market. And in the commodities market, oil prices edged higher on Monday, and this is after the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries had agreed on the output production. As you can see here, Brent was up by 0.26% at $83.66, while the OPEC basket was also down by 0.41 at $79.63 a barrel. With our seat for the business news segment, my name is Chiamaka Nendu. Thank you for watching.
All right, now let's turn our attention to international developments. The number of children who have died as a result of malnutrition and inadequate medical care in Gaza has increased to 16. This is even as the Gaza Health Ministry says it has detected about 1 million cases of infectious diseases, describing the medical situation in the Strip as, quote, extremely catastrophic. Meanwhile, the Israeli army has detained 55 more Palestinians in military raids carried out across the occupied West Bank on Monday, according to prisoners' affairs groups. At least 22 people were taken to Israeli custody in Hebron City, while other arrests took place in the cities of Bethlehem, Ramallah, Jerusalem, and Kalkilia. The Commission of Detainees Affairs and the Palestinian Prisoner Society said in a joint statement on Monday. Tensions have been running high across the West Bank since Israel launched a deadly military offensive against the Gaza Strip following the October 7 Hamas attack. At least 420 Palestinians have since been killed and 4,650 others injured by Israeli army fire in the occupied territory. According to the Health Ministry in Palestine, Israel stands accused of genocide at the International Court of Justice over its deadly onslaught on the Gaza Strip, which has left more than 30,000 people dead. Well, let's join Emmanuel Fashebi for a brief on sports update.
River Super's Nigerian basketball champions have increased their readiness in order to have a better outing in the forthcoming Basketball Africa League. The Nigerian club side has acquired the services of Kevin Amayo to beef up the team for the competition. Amayo assisted Malian side Stade de Malien to a third-place finish in 2023. The 32-year-old guard averaged 7.4 points, 4.8 assists, 3.1 rebounds, and 2.4 steals in 8 games played for the Malian team, gave them the bronze medal. The 23rd, 2024 in Accra, Ghana. And that is sports. I am Emmanuel Fashimi.
And that's the size of our bulletin for you tonight. Thank you most kindly for joining us. As always, we encourage you to follow us across our social media platforms to stay in touch with news stories and documentaries. Also check out our website, trusttv.com. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. For myself and the rest of the team, thank you for watching the news tonight.